I know it's hard to believe, everybody, but yes, this is no shock to the system. We are officially back. How you doing, everybody? It is Happy Hour from the Tower, episode 71, recorded live, and I am your host, T. Morris, and I am joined by the fire team once again. It is so good to see you guys. Over to my upper left,
I am Rev 3 dude, Nick Kelly.
and over to my immediate left,
I'm Brandon Kelly.
and right above me, just like in the Brady Bunch.
I'm not Jesus. I am Steve Taylor.
You sure about that one?
I don't know.
I don't know. I do have that cherub-like quality, so you never know.
I was gonna say, seeing some of the stuff that I've seen him do on this race for the Descendant, it's been something of a miracle, and I'm really, really proud of him. Just want to say good afternoon, everybody. It's great to see you all in chat. We just want to say a quick shout out to Resonant Moon, getting comfortable in their new abode. Welcome home, Canterbury. Of course, Rev 3 Dude popping up in chat, making sure everybody's behaving. And, of course, Steampunk Rick and assorted others. Thank you so much. Remember, you can become part of the recording. You can become part of the show if you come out to twitch.tv/TheTmonster. And you can sit on in, just like my wife, who just popped in from the other side. How you doing, darling?
Popped in from the other side.
Yeah, she broke on through from the other side. So anyway, folks, yes, it has been a while. We have taken something of a break from recording, and I guess I'm getting a treat for it because I just got a Kit Kat Dark from my wife.
Have a cookie?
And a cookie, and another cookie. Nothing like trying to break the stride. I appreciate it. Baby! I love you. Anyway, so, but to you, Fire Team, it's great to have you all back. Why don't we go ahead and start with, let's go ahead and start with the earlier mentioned Race for the Descendant. Steve, give us a quick update. Where are you in your Race for Descendant?
I am officially one triumph away from the Descendant title.
Do you want hobo goblins? Because this is how
one
you get hobo goblins.
One triumph. Over before the weekend, I had a bit of time, because I wouldn't go home to see my family this weekend,
right.
So didn't have enough time to do our regular sort of Saturday DSC runs. So our friend of the show, Big Marvinsky,
Big
took
Marvinsky,
me in with some of his fire team to go for the Red Rover Triumph. Which we were able to complete in 2 runs. We were kind of happy about that one.
Fantastic.
And then I had at that point I had two triumphs left, which was the Clan Night and then the Collections triumph. And by the end of I needed only one item in my collections to be able to complete that one, and it was the Bequest gun. And of course that clears, or that comes up randomly RNG for at the end of the DSC, and it just so happened that was the one I got at the end. So all I need to do is just Clan Night, and I've officially have a Descendant title.
So the last time we ran, as you and I ran, was for the Of All Trades. Now, this is what I meant by, chat, the Of All Trades and some of the miracles that Steve Saylor pulled off, because I know he was looking at some of these challenges going, ain't no way I'm doing this. But let's talk a little bit about that. First off, Of All Trades, what was the Of All Trades challenge? Just to educate the listening audience.
If I remember correctly, because it's been a bit, I think it was essentially I can't remember what specific encounter or the name of that encounter is, but essentially everyone has to have run all 3 suppressor, scanner, and operator in the same encounter, right?
It's a third encounter. Third encounter,
yeah. Right. Okay. I just didn't know if it had a name or anything like that. I was I knew it was a third one, but
yeah,
I
exactly.
think it's the Descent, but I don't know.
Unofficially, I think it's called the Descent. Now that is Of All Trades. Red Rover, on the other hand, takes place during the first encounter. What exactly was the Red Rover challenge?
Where everyone has to run operator.
And what do you do as operator?
So you go down into.
I love grilling you like this, buddy. I love it. I absolutely love it.
You go down into the basement, where some of. I was gonna make it bad, your mom will let you live in the basement kind of joke, but I couldn't think of one in time. So you go down there, and then essentially you have to shoot the individual panels that are called out. and then you have to place the operator back into its station, send it back up, and that's it. And then everyone basically like rinse, lather, repeat.
Right.
But the difference is that in order to be able to extend the encounter, you can't finish up by shooting the individual, like I just call
Fuses.
them the tubes.
The fuses.
The fuses, yeah,
Right.
the individual fuses. So we had to leave one like untouched until we were ready to finish it. The way that the strategy that Marv had for it was for me to do the first part and be the first one to run operator,
Right.
so that all I had to focus in on was just running on dark side. Without having to worry about where everything was on the light side,
right?
And then also not have to worry about calling out the individual, the individual fuses
Right.
that'd be lit up. Excuse me. So I knew that like that was part of the operator sort of like task, which I actually like know like I would like to be able to at least try to do. Maybe for the last run, is to try to do the operator fully. I think it's like because essentially you have to send the operator up, and then someone has to send scanner down, and then they're able to see the which fuses to hit. Right?
Exactly.
That's how it works? Because I've never done either or before in that
Right.
specific encounter. It was always just okay, shoot out the fuses that are called out. So this was the first time that I ever went down underneath.
Right. Right.
And it actually was pretty cool. Like I was like, okay, I can handle this because I prefer down there as opposed to up top when you have a servitor and a captain that are chasing you the whole time. That was always my biggest problem in that first encounter because those captains are ruthless. And then it's like I'm trying to be able to get past it and just trying to like save enough ammo so that I could be able to at least take out the fuses really quickly.
Yeah, but now you're downstairs. You're in the basement. You're having a game of D&D. Maybe a little bit of pizza delivered. That sort of thing. Someone's got some Mountain Dew.
Doing some high fives
Exactly.
with all the ads down there by using the melee.
Exactly. So I got a great story about Brandon, and that particular challenge was that that was my nervousness when I was going to do Red Rover the first time, and I was running with Dan Finity of Current Meta, and Dan Finity basically said, "We're going to have you go first, T, so because you're feeling the most uncomfortable about this." And then Brandon, being on the fire team, said, "But the goal, T, is to get you confident enough so that you're not the first." And sure enough, about like two runs later, we were running again with Current Meta. We were running with Ghost Possum, Gopo, and I got assigned third. And I was like, "Oh damn, Brandon's words have come back to haunt me."
A little bit.
And I pulled it off. I was really happy with myself. But man, I'm really proud of you, Steve. I remember when we first started this journey back in March. It was actually at the end of the season of The Chosen. And you got your first seal and your first title, and we said, "Well, I want another one. What are we going for?" And we ran down all the different triumphs that you had at that point, and I said, "Well, we could go for Descendant." And there was this pause, guys. There was this pause, and Steve was like, "That's a raid seal." I said, "I know." And from that point forward, we're here, and so now we are one triumph away. Chat whether. However this is going to go, I'm going to be there for Steve. I'm going to observe or I'm going to participate one way or the other, but it will be streamed on here. We are going to get Blind Gamer Steve, not just his next title, but his next title, which is his first raid title. It's going to happen. So what about you, Brandon? Nick, how about you? What have you guys been up to in the hiatus that we took from Happy Hour?
I mean, not too much on my end. It's been a lot of branching out because the back half of Season of the Splicer was not too appealing to me.
Right.
But I picked up the Splicer seal.
Well done.
And I mean, that's about it for my Destiny.
Keeping it simple.
Accomplishments
And everything else.
Keeping it simple. Now, Nick, what about you? You also had an accomplishment on this last go around. Talk to us. What happened with you, buddy?
Enjoyed this season more than everybody else because I earned my my Splicer seal before everybody else did, because I like override.
Wait,
like I do.
With Brandon's help, you mean?
No, thank you. That was a nice softball. Way to do that.
That's why I'm here, buddy. That's why I'm
almost
here.
Like he's done this before.
Yeah, I should write a book on podcasting, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
We're 15 minutes in, and I'm 4 words into my notes. Just
Yeah.
so
Don't worry, I got a timer going. But yes, everybody. Nick has in fact gotten his first title on his own and was the Splicer, and it was because of his love for. It's funny too. I would say this. Every time I log on,
my Warlock because my Titan is not ever going to take off the Chronicle.
but it's great though because every time I got on, Nick would be like, "So should we do overrides? How about overrides? I think it'd be great to how about overrides? Hey, have you done overrides yet? Have I told you my Savior, Lord, and Jesus overrides? You know what I mean?"
And then we had to do all the bosses in the expunge.
Right.
And so Brandon helped with that. So he cleared the path for the lady. And then we got to the last one, and we're like, we just need one more. And I think that's when he figured out there's like a secret door right at the beginning. And we're like, oh. We could have saved like.
Of course there is.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you unlock everything in your gauntlet, which honestly I did not.
It's the first unlock.
Oh, is it? You're kidding me! Oh my God! Wow!
Hail to the king, baby.
Damn, that I didn't even know. But anyway,
Yeah, so in terms of that season, and in terms of, we haven't done a show. We haven't done one of these since February.
no, we haven't. And I'm actually going to be releasing the show that we had recorded with voice director Kevin McMullen. He was very kind to give us some time, but basically in the same vein with Steve, not necessarily being as active in Destiny last season, life kind of got away from all four of us, and we just said, you know what, let's just take a break, let's just take a breath, and wait until something big happens. And boy howdy, this week did something big go down. Nick, do you want to lead us in on this?
I do. So we had a Bungie big old reveal in the middle, like right before Gamescom,
Yep.
and we got a lot of things. We got word on what the new season was going to be because it dropped Tuesday, so the same day that they had the announcement. We got our first look at Savathun. Oh my God!
Raise your hand if you've downloaded the 4K background that Bungie released.
Or, as some people have called it, including my friends over at Game Informer, Savathick is what.
Savathuck. If you guys want that backdrop, I'll throw it in the Google Drive. Don't worry, it's a beautiful thing to have on your desktop. Anyway, continue on, Nick.
Yep. So we got word on the Witch Queen, which is coming February 22nd, and
Tuesday.
yeah, and we got the title for the end of the Light and Darkness saga, which is
terrifying.
the final shape. I'm about to be more terrifying when we get into some of that. But yeah, I mean, so I think we jumped over how great the Elixni story and the whole that whole piece of Season of the Splicer was, which I think, to Brandon's point, like the beginning of that season was really, really good, really, really story heavy. And then now we're in Season of the Lost, and we've got some. Actually, I wore this here just for everybody here. It's not on audio, but for everybody, just so we're
in memory of Sagira.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, what? So we started off Season of the Lost. Brandon, what are your first impressions of Season of the Lost? Do you think it's more of the same, or do you think they've ramped things up a little bit?
I'm enjoying it, but it is reskinned more of the same. Because it's just another horde mode with 6 people that leads into an expunge. Which, I don't know if it's going to last us 6 months, but hopefully the content that we get over time will remedy that. Like, I love the premise. I love the beginning. The beginning's amazing.
Yeah, that's a heck of an opening.
We get a lot more crow this season.
Yeah,
we do. So I'm hopeful.
And what about you, Steve? Did you have any thoughts on the first impressions of Season of the Lost, or lingering impressions comparing it to Season of the Splicer? What are your thoughts?
Well, the end. I think probably as I did enjoy the story of Splicer. I just couldn't for I think just life got away from me. Like I couldn't just sort of get into all of the content in Splicer. I think I stopped after like week 5 or something like that, or I wasn't able to catch up after week 5.
Right.
So it was difficult, but I did I did get caught up, at least story wise, and then also with the epilogue that they put out, which was like probably one of the I know we keep saying it's like one of the best sort of like cinematic points or whatever, like in the entire, like we keep talking about like what's the best cinematic or what's the best sort of like sequence or whatever. I think this one was just so good. Like hearing like Saint 14 and seeing him like standing on the side of the Elixir, that's like after like hearing the horrible stuff that Saint had done to them. I was just like, oh, it just like it hit right in the feels.
Yeah.
And then to see like that right at the end, I mean, can we spoil it? Like, can we do spoilers? I guess.
Well,
I
for
don't know.
the
Can't do it
splice
anymore.
right? Yeah, season of Splicers wrapped. So
True.
yeah, feel free.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay, so
knock it
yeah,
out.
with basically ending of like Osiris just kind of like standing there, being all sus.
Osiris sus.
I would have vented his ass at that point. But I and then leading that into Season of the Lost, and now kind of at least like getting a little bit more like information about what was that all about. I think it's got a good start, but I'm with Brandon. It's like it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to stretch this out over 6 months. I think the 30th anniversary, I think we'll talk about that in a minute, like in December, is going to be like a nice sort of halfway point. So at least it gives us something else to do, like content wise. But it'll be interesting to see what they do after that for the last 2 months of the season leading into Witch Queen.
If you want some insanity, and I showed it to Brandon because I saw it today, somebody had tweeted, "We did it, chat. Season rank 100 in the first week of Season of the Lost." And I'm like, this is a 6-month-long season.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, man.
And it was with no pre-saved bounties or pre-completed bounties from last season.
That
Yeah,
I mean,
that was
Wow, from scratch.
Yeah, which is stupid.
and you know what? Hell of a grind. Good on you. Great. You know, you got heart, but dude, come on,
Like let it stretch it out. It's okay
Yeah,
to
make it
savor
last.
things a little
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, he'd probably go to a 4-star Michelin restaurant and just go, great. Where's my after dinner drink? I mean, you gotta let that linger, baby. You gotta let that linger. You know, like the Cranberries. Listen, no, when in doubt, listen to the Cranberries. The Cranberries and Ted Lasso. And that's the way you should live your life. Brandon, being a young man in today's society.
I don't like where this is going.
I don't like where this is going either.
Easy.
I'm like,
I want to hear your thoughts about the writing from Season of the Splicer and how it reflected current events, because there were a lot of younger gamers that were kind of upset that Bungie went there and made their heroes somewhat gray. What were your thoughts on it, considering current events and things like that? Did you find it heavy-handed, for one thing?
I think it definitely made you question your morality a lot more in the game, and that was one of the first times that it's ever been that hard hitting.
Yeah.
Because because at the beginning of the season, we don't help the Fallen because it's the right thing to do. We help the Fallen because we need their help. And I think that very much showed throughout the season.
Well, to go even deeper, the first enemy you ever face in Destiny is Fallen. And now here we are, and we're offering them sanctuary. And while there were ulterior motives. We built on that. So please continue, Brandon. I want to hear more about that.
I think the Guardian, the player, is supposed to go along the same journey as Saint in that season, because it starts with like, comparably, you're definitely also a monster to the Fallen in lore.
This is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think by the end you've gone through them. And seeing that, like, not every Fallen is the same. All the houses are different.
Right.
Mithrax is one of the best characters we've ever had.
Really is.
yeah.
And again, and people have quoted it in chat, but that line, "I am your people, you are my people." I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great.
And I think that's the point where it hits, like, you absolutely have gone through the same journey, because now you're like, yeah, Fallen and Guardians are one and the same. Or at least House of Light and Guardians are one and the same, and that's the journey you definitely have to go through in that season. Otherwise, it doesn't hit nearly as hard. Plus the political controversy between Lakshmi and the Vanguard.
I was waiting for Lakshmi to have a red ball cap. I'm just saying it was a little too close, and that's my girl. You know, that's Krishna Avarsala. That's Sheree Agadusu right there. I mean, that's my girl. It's my girl Sheree, and I'm just like, Sheree.
It was your girl.
It was my girl.
I mean,
Now she's a busted Carrig. I mean, it's just woo.
I mean, good on her because, like, hey, like, yeah, playing a character like that, like it's to make you feel the way that way. It's like, yeah,
Well,
no,
the
she definitely
factions
did.
were so unproblematic for all of D1 and the first 3 years of D2.
I know,
They
right?
had to do something.
And boy, howdy, did they give that a kick in the pants? It was pretty amazing to watch. Pretty amazing to watch. I for one have been absolutely enamored. It's funny. I saw this. We were playing. I want to say about 2 weeks ago, before we knew anything about Season of the Lost, about the big wrap up from the story, and I remember saying during gameplay, I don't know if you were there, Brandon, or if Steve was there, but I said, I miss the Dreaming City. I want to go back to the Dreaming. I want to do something in the Dreaming City. I miss the Dreaming. Man, be careful what you wish for, Parker, because. Oh my God! I have been absolutely loving both new events. That going back to the Shattered Realm, doing the ascendant alignment or the alignments, astral alignment, the astral alignments.
First mission dropped, and I'm literally going 6 months of this. Because I'm jumping on space rocks, and like the thing I hate to do in this game.
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome to the
But it was cool to
plane.
see the church, though.
It was
like,
real.
that
And,
church.
So what a beautiful, beautiful visual. I was so
hell yeah.
and
like, I love this game when it's a horror movie. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that.
and I'm really hoping that we're gonna run with that motif, and we're gonna see all the different areas, all the different maps. I mean, I would
be
love
dope.
to see a Titan in the Shattered Realm. Titan in the Shattered Realm would be like that. That would be just the icing on the birthday cake. It'd be great. And
That'd be great.
I mean, it is 6 months. It is 6 months. It is going to be a long season, and I think with that in mind, I'm okay with them not allowing us to mainline the game, even though there is somebody that's already hit 100. But to mainline all that content and get to the make the compass completely complete the compass within the first week or anything like that. Right. I'm okay with them just giving it out in little bits. That's okay with me. I'm more than okay with that.
Well, that's the thing we have to. Yeah, like that's the thing that we have to like think about too, is that it's like it's not Bungie's fault that we're getting 6 months of this elongated season. I mean, the pandemic again has hit 100% of every single bit of every single studio, whether you're from an indie side to all the way to AAA. And I mean, like you could totally tell that Season of the Splicer, when that ended, and the fact that they had the showcase ready to go, you can tell that was probably going to be when like we were going to get like the Witch Queen. Like it looked like they were ready for the Witch Queen this year,
right?
Just leading up to all the content that they have. And so, like, I think that like I hope that at least Destiny players are going to at least understand that yes, in about week or month 3 or 4, when we're starting to kind of go through the same stuff over and over again, that they're going to at least understand that a pandemic had hit Bungie too, and we're gonna feel that a little. We're gonna be content light for the next little bit, and I think they're gonna try their best to be able to add in as much as they can. I mean, hence why we have that 30th anniversary event, but. I mean, I think it's like I hope like it's something that it sucks, but I mean we're all gonna get some amazing content in February, and I'm all happy for it.
So to close up the first half of the show, Nyx, aka Spence, aka Resident Moon, has a really good question. Do you think they're also breaking up the content to allow casual players to get full experience over time? Nick, we'll start with you. What do you think of that?
I think they have to. Candidly, I mean, it's there's nothing wrong with spacing it out and doing something where you get a week, something new every week or every month. To Steve's point, we're still gonna get our Haunted Forest or equivalent. We're still gonna have our Dawning, right? We're still gonna we're still gonna get all those things. There's still gonna be these events, but the idea that even for like, I don't know. Like, I don't want anybody to run out of content. Like, we all do this sort of rise and fall. Like, it's been circular, right? Where it's like, new season, there's all kind of cool stuff to do. And then at some point that tails off. Brandon just said it did for last season. And then we get super hyped again. And but how long is that tail? Like,
Right.
from the initial,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
holy. And also, by the way, since it worked for you, I really miss going back to the moon. There, just see if that works.
So, Brandon, how about you? What do you think?
I feel like it's as spaced out as it can be for a balance,
Right.
because they're gonna do the same thing as they've done since Chosen, which is the content is weekly and it's gonna be one quest that's a story point every week, and that's as spaced out as it can be without Twitter absolutely trying to destroy Bungie devs for another reason.
Mhm.
But I think it's at a good spot for a week. It's just people love to take the content that they get and complete it in 10
A day.
minutes.
Yeah.
Like as soon as possible. So I think the weekly cap is the best choice to balance between tryhards and casuals. Which is,
Well, I would also
Yeah.
I would also like to add a real quick thank you to the folks at Bungie for keeping this game operating during a pandemic.
Yes.
Whenever I hear people whinge a bit about the content and about how it's being doled out, my thought is, you know what? Try to do what they do during a pandemic, and the fact that they have made this happen like they have, I mean, to me that is an accomplishment in itself. And yes, some things have been a little wonky. Some things have needed a tweak here and there. That's fine. It's still running. And in closing, I just want to about this. I want to say I think the Season of the Splicer has been one of the strongest for storytelling, and the way they're leading in to Season of the Lost. And we're gonna open up our second segment with a few thoughts about that before we get to Witch Queen. I for one have just been thinking that they've been ramping up the storytelling with every season. It's just been getting tighter and tighter, better and better, and yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time, and I think this season promises a lot. We have a lot to talk about still. We got to talk about the Witch Queen. We got to talk a little bit more about Season of the Lost, and also something that you might have missed between Dr. Lupo and Intel Gaming right after this break. And on the audio, we'll be clear. We're gonna go on ahead and just do a quick break. I'm gonna break this up, and then we're gonna have the second half of the show. But this is the we're just gonna take a quick little. If anybody needs to take a bio break from the podcast, feel free to do so now. If you want to hydrate, feel free to hydrate. Remember, hydrate when you're doing this stuff. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you, Nutty, for that wonderful raid. We really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And look at that, Bellafix from No Kid Hungry over at nokidhungry.org coming in with that host. Thank you so much, Bell. I appreciate you. And it's great to have you here in chat. I want to say this might be the first time I have you in chat, so thank you. Thank you for coming in.
I got to geek out over something related
Geek
to
out
Destiny.
a bit.
Not Destiny enough to have it on the episode. Because we were talking about factions.
Right.
And so James Remar is the voice of your not War Cult. What's the other one?
I'm setting this up. 15 minute break, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, everybody. So right now it's a 15-minute break. Yo, Potato, how you doing? Go ahead. New Monarchy.
New Monarchy. Right. So Hideo or whatever his name is. Right.
Hideo.
So
Right.
He was Dexter's dad in Dexter on Showtime, and they announced I don't even remember how many months ago they said Jennifer Carpenter's coming back, and we're like, okay, she died. Like, how are you going to bring back Deb? It doesn't make any sense. How about James Remar's not going to be the Dark Passenger in Dexter's ear? It's going to be his dead sister. Like, okay, because now it's the.
I could kind of see that.
Well, because it's Dad knew you were a serial killer. He found you in a pool of blood, and he raised you to go kill people according to his code. Like, Dad's not the one that you should trust anymore because he's just as effed up as you are. And that, but it's your dad telling you that. I'm like, oh man, all right, now I'm on board because I wasn't sure what they were gonna do other than like have her in a flashback. But this is way better. So, that's it. That was my Dexter moment. I'm done. Thank you. Court adjourned.
Fair enough.
And I know we didn't have time for it in the before the break, but I did want to be able to mention, and I might be. I mean, I love, you all love, you all know I love Destiny and I love Bungie. I still think that this game is extremely hard for new players. Extremely hard.
Well, there's a lot of content. There's a lot of content
to
get
catch
caught up on,
and it's extremely daunting and overwhelming for anyone that wants to jump in and doesn't have I mean, I was lucky and blessed enough that I had you guys to jump in with at the beginning, and if I didn't have that, I would have stopped playing Destiny years ago, because I would have felt like there's so much going on, I can't do all that. I have no idea where to start. And I was just doing Forsaken when we still had the ability to be able to go back and to do Red War, and now that we don't have that and it's just Forsaken, that's a lot of story to basically lead up to, and it's you can just send a link to Biff's recap of Destiny, and I'm like, do you want to have them watch that
4 hours,
watch a 4-hour YouTube video just to catch up?
I mean, it's either that or Zack Snyder's Justice League. Either one. I mean, either one. You got to space that stuff out. Watch Bike's videos instead.
So here's the thing, T. I'm actually in talks with a friend of mine who wants to get into Destiny, and I'm about ready to do my own Sherpa guide.
Nicely done.
Yeah, but and I'm looking at areas of where we could sort of jump in, so at least to kind of catch her up to essentially the points where we could be we could be able to all play together. But I'm like, okay, well, you got to do all the new light stuff, so there's that, and then it's okay, now do we go into Forsaken and then just go up from there? It's it's a lot to kind of have to speed through just to be able to get several expansions just to get to the point where we're at now. It is I think that is big. That is Bungie's and Destiny's biggest failing right now, is that it's great for current players, but it's terrible at bringing in new ones.
Well, okay.
The timeline that they added this season is a step in the right direction.
Oh, the time.
Sure.
Yeah. Are you talking about the timeline option that you have in your menu, right?
Yeah, the part in the director
That's
that
beautiful.
shows where everything happened.
Yep.
I think that's really smart. I honestly think somewhere that they took a massive wrong turn was when they started sunsetting.
Yes.
That completely broke every meta, and now it requires you as a new player to do the newest activities to get the best type of weaponry and the best active guns, and also putting a minimum cap on power level. If you still started at 750, that'd be okay, but the fact that I think this season you started at 1150 no matter what, and that's just not good.
So one of the things I would say in response to that, Brandon, was that I'm glad that they were sunsetting certain weapons, and I'm glad they broke the meta. Even when I play the meta, when I hear, it goes back to that you can't make everybody happy in this game. Never. You're gonna have people that are gonna be everything's stale. I want something new. So you break the meta the way Bungie did, which I thought was ballsy as hell. And then the people who were relying on the meta were like, "Oh my God, this game sucks." They're sunsetting my favorite weapons. And me personally, I'm like, wait, did anybody else not enjoy the season of the grenade launcher? And hey, I'm looking forward to season of the fusion rifle, because let me tell you something. I've always loved fusion rifles, but man, I have played around with the new mods for linear and fusion rifles, and man, they slap. Null composure is like a microwave in your hands.
Well, because I think we had that in the notes for the video.
So teaser, everybody. That's a teaser for the second half.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say though, Brandon, was that I personally think that breaking the meta is probably one of the best things for new players, because then they don't feel as things like Crucible and Gambit don't feel as exclusive. And I would also argue too that it is tougher as a new player to come into Destiny. The longer you wait, the tougher it is. However, I will say that I do think the Destiny has at least taken. Bungie has taken some strides to make learning what everything is a little easier with Shaw Han.
I think the onloading of a new player is fine, but New Light is a great way to be able to step in if you're a new player.
Right.
I just think like once after that, it's like,
it
okay,
doesn't give you any
world's
direction.
open to you, go nuts. Like, okay, but like, where do I go? Like, what do I do? And it's like that's the whole thing. I like the timeline stuff that they added in. I would love to be able to see them. Like, I don't know if Bungie already has this, and you guys maybe correct me if that's the case, but Bungie needs essentially like like an official lore keeper that essentially can like do a previously on Destiny. Essentially, I think is
that position open over the summer. They are hiring that individual.
okay. Well, I would love to be able because if we can't go back into Red War, I would love for them to basically put up like here's a cinematic or a video of like that like gives you all the important story stuff to be like okay. Here's what Red War was about, and it leads up to the current
playlist
content.
of the cutscenes, and it lets you rewatch whatever happened. There needs to be a way that you can know exactly how that went down.
And maybe do like a best of like you can be able to jump into old missions like specific like not the whole entire story but like highlights of something like jumping onto Gaul's ship or like that kind of like near the end or the final boss fight with Gaul, like having that after New Light, because it's like it doesn't really like let you level up in the way you think you should when you're playing through the entire storyline, but at least it can kind of get you like feel like you're a part of it instead of just watching a recap of the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I guess you could watch that on YouTube, but I don't know. I think like having that in there would at least help alleviate some of that story that essentially is now just gone, that new players can't get access to other than basically Forsaken. And even now with the story, we're kind of we're writing up that line of like, okay, Forsaken's the last little bit of content that we can actually be able to play, and even now we're like talking
place to start.
Yeah, and it's like it really is, honestly.
Well,
and
if you don't know who Cade is, why does it matter if he dies?
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, and we're now leading, like we're going back into some of the story from that, and it's like they're almost hitting, like they've been hitting stuff that's old stuff that, like Zavathun. No one like Zavathun's old. Like you can't play the original like when you first heard about Zavathun for the first time.
Right.
Trying to explain high family drama to new players is going to be a monumental task.
It's a bit like I think the easiest way I honestly think it's a bit like saying you're looking for something to watch, okay, on HBO, all right?
Yeah.
And then you come across this cool looking fantasy series with dragons in it called Game of Thrones. Then you realize you're in season 6. And you know, I mean, you have to figure out, okay, how do I get everybody caught up? And you know, Mike the Potato mentions if they need a storyline. Well, Mike, we just said if you go to the directory in Destiny 2, there is in the top right-hand corner something called the timeline. And it shows you every big expansion, every big mission, and it explains what's been going on in Destiny history, and it's one way of getting you caught up. That is one way of getting you caught up. And you know, I just feel like that you know, yeah, it is tough, but I would also say at the beginning of every season, it's a nice little reset point. So I think it is less overwhelming to get involved in Destiny 2 at the beginning of a season and especially I would say that that Nyx is right in one respect in that Destiny there would be this long gap, and they're like, we're going to try to space this content out as much and as long as we can, but they know that 6 months is a long time, and so they have a lot on their plate to manage, I think. And I did want to say, Jagmaster, I did want to say you did not go unignored. Jagmaster in chat mentioned that the Master Nightfalls have less champions than 1320, and 1320 being the Grandmaster, and that's good to know. That's good to know.
1320 is like heroic.
Oh, is that heroic? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Master has
Grandmaster would be 1375.
That's right, 1375. You're absolutely right.
1365 or something.
I'm trying to personally, I know that is my goal for this particular season. I have 6 months to not only do the Grandmaster Nightfall, which is something I really want to strive to do, but I know for my personal goals, I want to also I would love to do a Vogue, a Master Vogue, and they've been summed up to me by Marv in one word: pain. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them. I've seen them. It's gonna be rough, but I do think that Destiny can be a very overwhelming game. I think it's a lot like. I do think it is a lot like coming into a television series, whether it's Game of Thrones, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or Farscape.
Trying to watch any anime.
Yeah. Yes. After it's been on for like 4 or 5 seasons, and you happen to stumble on season 4, and you're like, wait, there's 3 other seasons that you want to get caught up on, and so it's an undertaking. But I do think that I personally have been looking forward to a lot of the stuff that's coming down the pike. I recently took into the Crucible the new exotic, which I know we'll be touching on in
Wall hack gun.
What?
The wall hack gun.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying that wall hack.
Good one is.
It's Wish Ender all over again, everybody.
Oh yeah.
But it's I think we have. I think as challenging as Destiny is, I think this is the other thing too. Going back to Steve's original comment, is that Steve is now, the student is now the master, and now Steve has an opportunity to Sherpa someone, and Steve is going to discover just how much fun that is to be able to Sherpa somebody. It's a blast to enter, and I think that's something that the folks at Bungie, they have been very much dedicated to trying to find out ways of getting people to just participate together, to get things done together as a group, whether it's a raid, whether it's the overrides, whether it's the astral alignments. They're horde modes. You're absolutely right, Brandon, but they are ways of getting more people involved to do things together. Now, forcing people to do stuff together, that's a tall order, and that can be a little rough around the edges. But I do think that having that having somebody, I don't think Steve and I are unique in that, people know that we love this game, and they're going to be like, well, I want to start this game. I'll call on Steve or I'll call on T and be like, well, where do we start? And I'm like, well, let's suit up, Guardian. Let's go find something to do. And then you slowly start taking it to the next level with people. But is it easy? Not by any stretch of the imagination. If you're gonna Sherpa somebody in the lore of this game, that's a tall order to do. That's a tall order to do.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. Just even going and researching some of the Hive stuff. First of all, let me say this: the writers have known for a very long time where they want the story to go, even when we were all doubting them like years ago.
Oh, sure, yeah. Like they basically have already like worked out all the content like probably 6 months to a year ago.
Yeah, and well, I think you have to, right, by nature of game design. I think Brandon, to your point about breaking the meta, I think we have the cure for that on the horizon, and I think it's weapon crafting.
I agree.
And then yeah, but yeah, I mean, we have a super casual player in the house, and Mom hadn't played for probably 2 full seasons, and then decided, after watching the announcement, that she wanted to come back in. And of course, the very first thing, and I think Brandon was out of the house, was that intro mission, and she's jumping on space rocks, and she loves it about as much as I do. And so yeah, it was I was back on the exercise bike, and she was like, I finally got through. And I just, if you watch that cutscene, if you're new to Destiny and you do that first mission and you watch that cutscene, you don't give a flying crap who Crow is, because you don't know that he was older, right? So there's that stuff too, that we're just gonna Brandon pointed it out too. You don't give. If I'm new to the game, I don't care about Cade. But for those of us who've been playing for a long time, that was like the comic relief guy. Like, get your rock off my map. That was like you killed Fillion. You know what I mean? So yeah, obviously, I mean, if you play a game for there are ways to introduce the story that I think that probably is the biggest hurdle to understanding a lot of what is going on in the game. And then the gameplay stuff, I think that's a completely different fix. But I really do like the fact that they put, here's what you missed, like right in the director. You know,
I wish there was. I wish the timeline went back further and it gave a D1 summary too.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
I think that's also where the game struggles a bit with new players too, is because they didn't need to make a second game. To be honest, they could have just done like a revamp or I think D2 happened and it's a good thing. If D3 happened, Destiny would not still be a franchise.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
yeah.
there's a lot of give and take.
And I think it's harder to go back and do. They should have done some sort of summary. You're absolutely right, Brandon. I think the style of how games like Destiny are handled was just emerging when Destiny had been released. Because when you look at the original DLC and the expansions of Destiny, things didn't feel as connected as these seasons feel now. I think it is a little harder to do that sort of thing. Okay.
There's also like no reason that VOG is back, but it is.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's for the folks that have been playing it, since the beginning.
I hope that legacy tab gets more to it than
Yeah.
just
I
VOG.
think it will. I think it will. I think it will. All right, so let's go on ahead and let's head into the second half. Chat, thank you very much. You've been keeping things lively. I know some people have been coming and going. TD, good to see you in chat. Noob, good to see you in chat as well. Thank you for the insight, Jagmaster. I do appreciate it. We are going to be starting the second half of episode 71. We're going to be talking a little bit, and I know you're still there, Mike. I see you there. He had to remind me. But anyway, So thank you all very much for doing that. Thank you, Mike, for gifting that sub. I do see that now in chat. I'm so used to Nick doing all the gifting of the subs. I just kind of like, okay, Nick, thanks for trying to throw me off the rails there, but we got it back. All right, everybody, I'm gonna go count us back in, and then we'll be bringing ourselves in for the second half of the show. Here we go. Yeah. God damn it, TD0013. You hurt me so. You hurt me so. We got to get back into the rhythm now, but it's getting there. I've had 15 hellacious months, and now I've had nearly 3 months of this new job. I'm trying to find my footing. I am thrilled we're just back for you heard me. You heard me, you curmudgeon. All right. Coming back for the second half in 3, 2. And we are back with the second half of Happy Hour from the Tower. I'm T.
I'm Nick.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Steve.
And we are here to talk a little bit more about the brand new Season of the Lost, as well as the upcoming Witch Queen. But I got to throw this out to chat before I forget. Did any of you on the Fire team or in chat see the Dr. Lupo Intel Gaming collaboration that happened this past week?
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so proud of this Fire team. For those of you who don't know, you can find this on YouTube on Dr. Lupo's channel. It's youtube.com/Dr. Lupo. That's Dr. Lupo. But Dr. Lupo was asked to collaborate with Intel Gaming, and Dr. Lupo did a run of the Deepstone Crypt with live orchestral accompaniment. And I was watching it with my wife. And I turned to Pip and I said, "This is the way I want to game from this point on." We're gonna have to move into a bigger house because this is the way I want. And in Lupo's chat, man, when Lupo came back from the broadcast of that, and he popped in with Tarkov, people were like, "So when's the orchestra moving in?" And people were like, "Oh, it's already moved in," things like that. But I wanted to get your impressions of it, Brandon. What did you think? Being a musician yourself.
Yeah, no, that was phenomenal. Just like. It's one thing to have them there playing. It's another thing to have them adapting to how you're doing in the game.
Yeah, right.
Like, the way that they'd finish, the same way that the game does it. It's crazy because they'd finish the each arrangement as they finished encounters. They'd start perfectly. They'd wait if they had to wait. It was so well done. Watching
Yep.
that conductor was one of my favorite things to do in that recording.
Absolutely.
It was all so well put together, and I loved watching every moment of it. And then, Deep Stone Lullaby.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Now, Nick, what about you? Did you have a chance to watch it?
I did, and it points out to me, and it should point out to everybody, how absolutely spoiled we are with every version of the soundtrack of this game.
Oh, yeah.
Because every time, even you could hate the content, Trials of Osiris, but you could love the music that goes with it, right? So Mercury,
Soundtrack of Osiris.
was great. But yeah, I mean that. But to Brandon's point, that's, four guys playing a classic rock song, and you go, yeah, vamp a bit is one thing. Conducting an orchestra to mirror real time gameplay was insane. But it was a heck of a thing to watch.
So here's the beautiful thing, though, about that segment, though, chat. While that was going on, while that was live, Steve was actually running the Deep Stone Crypt with the Big Marvinsky.
Yeah, I was about to say, because we were running it, and it was the Red Rover, so that's what we were doing, and we just we were actually going to end it. We were afterwards, after we had already got it done, we were kind of questioning, it's hey, do we want to just finish it off or what? And everyone was like, yeah, we just keep going. So we're playing, and we had just finished the spacewalk. And then I look over at my phone, and I see that T had sent a flurry of messages in our group chat.
Guilty.
And I was all I saw was Dr. Lupo or Orchestra Destiny, and I was like, huh? And I looked into it further, and I read it. I was like, oh shoot! And then I opened up the stream of right then and there, and he had just started the spacewalk.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And I told everyone in the fire team, whoa, everyone go to Dr. Lupo right now. He's literally going through the DSC with a live orchestra, and he just finished the spacewalk.
Now, phrasing it like that, Steve, now I'm picturing Lupo leading a fire team of an orchestra, and they're all playing in outer space. But anyway. So that segment is my favorite. That segment is my ultimate favorite, because through the whole thing, when it cuts back from the Deep Stone Lullaby to Lupo, and he's just sitting there and he's playing with this big smile on his face, and I'm like,
yeah,
you could just tell.
It too. It's I got a big stupid grin on my face right now. And
I'm tearing up, man. I'm tearing up.
I would be too.
It was really, really beautiful. It was really,
and I know
really
that and I think it's TD has said in the chats it was that he was kind of sad that they talked over. And I'm like, well, you gotta talk. It's a DSC raid. You gotta communicate. You gotta keep comms
There
open.
were only two things said during the spacewalk.
Yeah, exactly. They were very respectful for a lot of that. Even near the end, I think I heard one woman say this is just so dang cool. I would have done the same thing. It would have been so hard to keep that in.
And in Lupo's channel, when they got back, they had already been playing for an hour. They'd already been playing Tarkov for an hour solid. That's Escape from Tarkov, everybody. And one of his regulars on his raid team came in and said, "Can we just stop for a moment and talk about how ultimately cool that thing was you just did, Lupo?" And he just kind of deflated, and he was like, "Guys, the things I could tell you." And I'm like, "Oh man, I mean, it just." And that's the thing. Just as a quick aside, when it comes to some of the upper tier of Twitch and the upper tier of gaming, sometimes those personalities can be a bit toxic. That is not Dr. Lupo. That guy moved mountains to sit down and talk with me at an event at GuardianCon, and he could not have been a nicer guy. And I was happy for him. I mean, he's probably forgotten about the interview with me, but I was that's my boy Lupo, baby. I mean, I was cheering him on, and if you haven't seen the video, there's a link in the chat there. There's a link on the show notes for this. We've got the video up. It is an absolute joy to watch him do this, and it's just so much fun. And he even said, Go ahead, Steve.
I was gonna say, like, and the thing that you can tell about the whole thing, because this wasn't even a Destiny activation. Like, when
Right.
you're in the PR side or the like influencer side, you start to kind of pick up on certain things, like certain like special events or collaborations that streamers and influencers get to do, and you can tell that this idea had to have been a Dr. Lupo idea, because this was all tied into Intel. They were the main people that were running this thing, and Intel probably came to Lupo and was like, what is the coolest thing you can be able to think of, either A, with an orchestra, or what's the coolest idea you can think of that you've always wanted to do? And you can totally tell that this was Lupo's idea. This
Right.
was Ben's idea. And that's how, like, and there was some people even in the fire team that were kind of like a little bit skeptical. It's like, really? Destiny chose like Dr. Lupo to be able to be in this? He hasn't been to play Destiny in a long time. Like, true, but you can tell that he loves this game, and he loves like the world that Bungie had created. So to see him like with a big giant grin on his face the entire time that he's doing this, like I would be too, and I would like you could tell that that's how much like Ben loves this game.
So with that being said, again, if you want to check that out, we got a link in the show notes. If any of my mods in chat could look up that Dr. Lupo video and drop it into chat, I would appreciate it, but it's on our show notes. For those of you listening, which remember, you can listen to this podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and also on Google Play. Nick, let's talk a little bit about Season of the Lost. You have copious notes.
I do, and I just wanted to say, like, that entire conversation, my first thought was, if you thought it was hard getting your cello on and off the school bus in middle school, try taking it into space. Like that.
Fair.
My whole thought process. So, okay, Season of
I was
the
a
Lost.
trombone player, so I can relate with that. Anyway, as you were saying, as you were, sir.
Marching band in space.
Yeah.
That's the next. That's
Marching band right. Marching band right.
Right.
Oh, wait. One more thing I did want to say before we get into Season of the Lost. I did want to read out something to you all. Which will still segue into this. Steam's weekly top sellers. I think this is worth mentioning.
I know what this looks like.
Yeah. Top sellers ending 29th of August. Number 1 was Destiny 2 Witch Queen Deluxe Bungie 30th Anniversary Bundle. That was the number 1 top seller. And number 2, and I am quite stoked about this. The number 2, brace yourself, Marines, Aliens Fireteam Elite. My wife and I, and we even pulled in that blind palooka up there, we have been playing the crap out of that game. It is so much damn fun, especially with a fire team, with a full fire team. It is a blast. Then we have Narakara Blade Point, Naraka Blade Point, Psychonauts 2, Humankind, Battlefield 5, Valve Index VR Kit, Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Game of the Year Edition, and then finally rounding off the top 10, Destiny 2 Legendary Edition. So it's been a good week for Bungie. It's been a good week for Bungie.
Because the animated series just dropped.
Right.
Battlefield's on there because they just announced the new one that's coming out. Like everything, half that list is just because there was a
Humankind just came out. I really want to play that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Humankind. Yeah.
So did Aliens Fireteam Elite, which
True.
when you
The
play
only
it,
reason any of those are on the list is because Rider Republic hasn't come out yet.
We're getting to Tuesday. Oh no, we're going. We have a concert Tuesday.
So Nick, Season of the Lost. Go into your copious notes and take us through.
Okay. When we finish all this,
And that's time. Thank you, everybody. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
you have to still leave like 2 minutes for Steve to read a piece of lore for us. So, anyways, no, I'm serious.
Okay. Cool.
Maybe
Sweet as. Okay.
I'll send you a link. Here we go. All right. So, Season of the Lost. We have the return of it's the season of 2 queens, right? Because we have Savathun and we have Marasov back.
Right.
Also, it's 64 days till Halloween if you have your Christmas decorations. Take them down right now. Okay. So we get confirmation of what everybody thought, which is that Osiris is just the vehicle for Savathun to actually occupy, right? Which we knew based on the epilogue. Right. That's this thing on. Okay, good.
No,
okay.
So can I interrupt? Can I interject a thought here real quick, or at least 2 thoughts?
No,
Okay.
like we're
It's still Ava Levante.
Okay, I'll sit back then and wait until I wait and,
no,
and hold my.
no, we're all co-hosts on this thing. We're all fire team.
Okay.
Give me your thoughts.
So one, I'm going to throw it out there that I believe the voice of Savathun, this is my own personal theory, is actress Alice Krieger.
It is not.
Damn. Okay, never mind. Moving on.
It is-
That would have been a good pull, the Boar Queen.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Exactly.
would have been dope.
Deborah Wilson is the voice of Savathun.
Oh.
Amazing job.
She does. Secondly, does anybody else think that Savathun was the one who killed Sagira because she wanted access to Osiris? I just want to put that thought out there. Just
Ooh.
legit.
No, wasn't
Just
it was a Wrathborn, wasn't it?
It was. Well, that's what we were told. But I'm just kind of throwing it out there because she's kind of acting like this, like master manipulator, very, very much Kaiser Sose / Frank Underwood sort of thing. I know. Yeah, she is. Who sounds a lot like Alice Krieger. But I just want to say that I just want to put that thought out there to everybody. Could it possibly be? Could we find out? Because I personally think we're being played by Savathun. We are being played like a Stradivarius from Savathun.
Well, now that we know what the plot of Witch Queen is, before Season of the Lost even started,
Spoiler!
I can give you a sequence of events that will maybe confirm what you just said and also give you potentially the most frightening possible way that the Lucent Hive get ghosts.
Okay.
But I wasn't there yet.
All right. So then continue. So
But I
please
can, but
continue.
if I do, like there's a definite chance that Brandon walks out of the room if I explain what I want to explain to you.
oh boy.
So let's get to
All
just the gameplay stuff before
Back
we get
into
into
it.
the lore.
Yeah.
Like I said, Hive family drama is very difficult to understand. All right. So essentially, what we're doing this season, right? So Marasov's come back. She makes a deal with Savathun. So basically, the trade-off is Savathun gets rid of the worm that feeds on death, that she is not able to sustain anymore, and then Marasov basically gets the opportunity to repair the Dreaming City so that Xivu Arath can't corrupt it. So that's the trade-off. If you're wondering what he gets
So
out of
that's
it.
not breaking the curse, right? That's just stopping Xivu Arath.
Yeah, it's not breaking the curse. Yeah, you're right.
No.
Okay. So from gameplay perspective, we talked a little bit in the top part about astral alignments, which I think are fun.
Yep.
Shattered Realm, which again we kind of compared those and said they're rebranding of stuff we did last season. Hey, let me ask you, Steve Saylor.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on having infinite primary ammo?
Oh my God, so great. I love that. Many a times, I mean, you all know me. You all know I love my combat bows. And there are many a times I'm doing a sniper. I'm standing up off of the side, usually like you're just picking people off as I go. And then there's that time where it's like, oh shoot, I've run out of primary ammo. And then I have to go down into the fray and just basically just try to be able to pick up as many bricks as I possibly can. And now I don't have to worry about that anymore, which is kind of nice. So I'm a big fan of the infinite ammo because I'll take it. Now, if they did that for special ammo,
Well, shoot. Let's not even. Let's not
They
even.
will not.
They will not.
Yeah.
They will not.
I know they won't, but still.
But maybe maybe the desire for special ammo is a nice way to segue. Last season, as I said in the first half of the show, it was season of the grenade launcher. This year, it seems to be season of the fusion. And Nick, do you have any notes about that or any particular thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not a big fusion rifle guy. I would imagine the infinite primary ammo is probably not a bad thing, but we get there's a couple of weapon notes that I put down in here. Obviously, the Lawrence Driver is the exotic with the season pass, which I guess everybody has to play.
Really like it. I really like it.
Stasis hand cannon, but hand cannons.
Oh yeah.
Is the Aegir Scepter exotic? That's a linear fusion rifle?
No, that's the trace rifle, isn't it?
That's
Trace-
the trick. Yes.
Yeah, because it's not out yet. It's the weekly progress one
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, looks good.
with the palindrome names.
Looks good.
Yep.
Yes, it does.
But I gotta say real quick that I'm thrilled that this is going to be season of the fusion, because last season I fell in love with the Null Composure, and it was slapping hard in last season. and I got the Gambit skin for it. I'm working on the Crucible skin for it, and I really fell in love with it. I was like, I dig fusion rifles to begin with, just based on their concept. But this one was the first one where I really felt like, okay, I can get behind this fusion rifle and actually do some damage with it. And then I saw some of the things that are on the artifact, and I was like, okay, let's open this up. But I was playing around with the season pass linear fusion rifle, which I'm not a big fan of linear fusions, but I really like the driver. It's good fun. It's really good fun. And I took it into Crucible, just going, okay, I got to get this challenge done. And the challenge was done. I'm like, I don't want to stop using it, you know. So, and I usually think that's a good sign. That's a good particular sign of that is a good sign of a good weapon and a good design of a good weapon. So I'm looking forward to it. And Nick, if you're wondering what Marv said, I'm canceling it out. I'm just keeping it out of my head right now because I'm in podcast mode. Let's go.
Yeah. If you're listening to this podcast, you won't be able to read what Marv wrote.
That might be a good thing. That might be a good thing.
Yeah.
Hail to the king.
So a couple
Okay.
of things on. We haven't got there yet.
We already
So,
passed.
yeah.
Speed it up, why don't you? I've got places to be.
All right, so let's talk about this. This is going to be more impactful to everybody else, I think, on here, other than the fact that everybody's got a PS5 on this fire team, so that's one technological change from the past. But crossplay.
Yeah.
Crossplay. TD, we gotta make some time. TD has been talking about this since Destiny 1. And TD and I are old friends. He is Xbox, and he has been wanting so bad to run. He's like, it'd be great if they had crossplay on this game. And now, TD, it is a thing, and we are going to friggin' make this happen. As a matter of fact, first night of the new season, that guy, Brandon, he was on a PC playing a Hunter. The guy above me, he was on an Xbox playing a Warlock, and I was on my PS5 playing a Titan. We had every base covered.
Yep, and even actually during the DSC with Marv, I was everyone else was on Steam. I was the only one on Xbox.
Nice,
and,
nice.
It ran beautifully. It ran just as if we were all on the same platform, and the only difference was that there was just a little Xbox icon next to my name, and that was it.
We were using TD. We were using Discord. I've been using Discord for my game chat because one. Of all the different game chat, accoutrement that is out there, my favorite has been Discord. It is the clearest. It is the most organized. I can do a quick mix and say, okay, I need to turn Brandon up. I need to turn Steve down. Right. Whatever I have to do. So yeah, that's how we were doing.
Test that out to see like how well voice comms working like in game.
Next Titan Tuesday.
In a while.
Some games that have crossplay don't have cross voice. And I don't know how if there is cross voice for Destiny.
There's the opening for somebody to develop Discord.
There you go. Microsoft Teams, everybody, let's go.
For everybody who wants to talk about competitive advantage, disadvantage of the crossplay on different consoles and all that stuff, that's why we have a Discord server. We would not be able to fit that conversation into this episode.
Amen.
Okay. That being said, we talked about Dr. Lupo. We talked about the upcoming. We have a Festival of the Lost. We get Moments of Triumph. We get the Dawning, all that stuff. The 30th anniversary is coming September 7th with a ton of stuff. Dungeon back on the Cosmodrome.
Mm-hmm. Great. Looking forward to that.
Gallahorn.
The Gallahorn is coming back.
The thing you guys have been telling me about since day one.
The Gallahorn is coming back, everybody. And
there are a bevy of videos of people losing their minds when they got the Gallahorn back to V1, Steve. It was the thing. Yeah.
I know. And then like also as well, like seeing that it's going to be a Nerf gun too. Like that's pretty dope.
Pre-ordered.
You're getting
alongside the Aliens 35th anniversary Nerf gun that we also pre-ordered. And here's the thing, that Aliens Nerf gun, chat, it has a digital readout. It doesn't go to 99, it only goes to 10, but still, that's amazing. Does the Nerf gun come with Wolfpack rounds? Nice callback. Nice callback. I mean, that's Galahorn is coming back. But let's all now.
There's like 3 armor sets too.
There are. So
Yeah.
here's the I'm gonna go like bullet rapid fire. Here we go.
Here we go.
Marathon ornaments, the AS Luna and Thousand Yard Stare come back.
Yes.
There's a Claymore sword inspired by Myth. There's a shotgun inspired by Marathon. There's a unique helmet ornament. There's exotic sparrows. There's exotic ships and more. So pre-order yours now. There you go.
There you
Ding.
go.
Okay.
There you go.
You can't leave out the thorn themed armor.
The Thorn theme armor does look pretty.
'Cause
It looks
looks amazing.
Yeah, it does look pretty. It does look very, very pretty. So we're off and running with Season of the Lost. I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to it. But let's talk about Witch Queen. I don't know where to begin. Do we begin with the Hive Ghosts, or do we begin with the glaive that we can actually build and put together and craft? Weapon crafting in Destiny 2, it is a thing, or it will be a thing in 6 months. Where do we begin, Nick? Where do we begin?
So it's not just the glaive. Let me throw that out there, because if you read the TWAB, it is the glaive is where you start. That's going to be the first thing, and it looks amazing. It's got a it's
looks
got a
cool.
block component. It's got a missile.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to basically not say every time I use it to glaive.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, that's the first thing that comes to my head when I think of it. It's like to glaive.
Just so long as it's not like the glaive in the movie Krull, where they make this big deal about it and then nothing happens with it at the end. So long as it's like the glaive. You know what? I got the Galahorn. Poof, you know.
So
Yeah.
eventually, we're all going to be able to forge all of the Witch Queen and seasonal weapons. That's the goal. That's what was stated. And then there's also going to be class-specific exotic variants and unique attacks that are part of it. So I thought that was pretty
I
cool.
didn't know that part.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
The thing I wanted Steve to read, I just put in the Facebook Messenger. So
Oh,
right.
okay. Hold on.
we'll get to it, but that's back to the story. Yeah, and you know, and we didn't talk about there's no new Darkness subclass this year coming up because they're redoing the old subclasses. And if you go read the TWAB and you'll read about Void 3.0, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of Brandon read it,
I'm
right?
so excited.
We'll have a
Yeah.
we'll have a link to the TWAB that we're referring to, since this is going to be coming out. Knock wood. Since this is coming out on Tuesday, we're going to make sure that we have a link to that particular TWAB so that you don't get it mixed up with the new TWAB that'll be coming out. So quickly to wrap up, because we're getting close to the end of the show. Did you want Steve to do a dramatic reading for us, and then we're gonna wrap up the show?
I was wondering if this was going to be the one that you're going to send me, because this went like woof.
This is chat and also the fire team. Have you read the Wolf Tone Draw, the lore for the new bow?
I know what it's about.
I have not. I have not.
Good. Well, then get some. Oh, I almost cursed. Get some popcorn, and Steve is going to read.
I'm sitting back in my chair. I'm ready to go.
I'm going
Steve-
to do my best.
Uncle Steve, tell us a story. Uncle Steve, tell us a story.
You won't be that cheerful after that.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Pressure's not on, everybody. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna try my best. All right. So this is the lore for the Wolf Tone Draw. The slithering dark is cold against my face. I cannot speak, cannot breathe. I reach for Segura, but then I remember. I form a fist, but feel nothing. I am bound, and as I thrash, the images cut fissures through my mind. Someone, the awoken prince? He helps me to my feet, but still I struggle in the dark. And now she is standing, thanking him, but she uses my voice. My voice. She has stolen my form, my voice, but someone will see my failure and cast her out. They must! A glimmer of sunlight. How long has it been? Savala looks at me, at her, considers her words, poison cloaked in wisdom. I cry out, he must know. Savala, listen, listen. You know me. You know not to. The smell of night flowers. I am walking. She is walking through a moonlit garden. And there is Ikora, speaking, laughing, nodding. Look, Ikora, look at me. Don't you see it? Pay attention. Pay attention. I taught you better than this. A woman, an exo, sits before me and sways, eyes vacant, but inside she is sinking as well. Now her voice, her true voice, humming, a gyre sound, and the exo sways faster and faster. I hear his voice and push to the surface. Saint, no, 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 I scream, but there is no sound. He looks into her eyes. He smiles. He reaches for me, but it is not me. Saint, that is not me. Please, please. I am weeping, but I cannot weep. I am nothing. Only heat and hate. Only sickness and shame. Trust me, I hear my voice say, and I drown again.
How about it?
Can I get hype in chat, please? Can I get some hype in chat for Steve, the Blind Gamer Sailor, whom you can find on twitch.tv/blindgamersteve and youtube.com/snowball. Nicely done, Steve. Nicely done.
There's another great dramatic reading from Liana Rupert over at Game Informer. She has on her Twitter, and I think also on her YouTube, her own dramatic reading of that lore, because that's how I heard it, and I was just like, oof.
Now Laura was the one that you did the show with when you guys watched the reveal on Game Informer, correct?
Yeah. So Liana had invited me and Pastor Dame, who was someone from her fire team, to join in on their watch along for not only the Destiny showcase but also the Xbox Gamescom showcase as well. So that was a fun stream.
Nice. So, Fire Team, it is time that we wrap up and we head back to the tower, power up our ships, and head off into the cosmos to do what we need to do for the Vanguard or for the for the Dredgen, depending on who you had your allegiance to. Anyway, I did that specifically to get a rise out of you, Brandon. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for being here and joining us on the episode 71 recording of Happy Hour from the Tower. You can find this and other shows that we've done over at happyhourfromthetower.com. While you're there, if you decide you want to go on ahead and chip into the show, you can go on ahead and drop us a voicemail at 703-791-1701, or you can drop us a note at podcast@happyhourfromthetower.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail and or a text via WhatsApp using 703-791-1701. Remember, folks, Happy Hour from the Tower, you can hear that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. You can also find it on Stitcher. And also, remember that this podcast is protected by a non-commercial, no derivative, share-alike United States 3.0 license. You can find out more about that license at happyhourfromthetower.com. So, eyes up, Guardian. Time to give up the ghost. The first round, that's on us. Okay. And that is the recording of episode 71 of Happy Hour from the Tower. Chat, thank you so much for being with us tonight. If you got any end of show questions, now's a good time to ask. We're all taking a breath. We're going to try to get back into the swing of things every 2 weeks, brand new show, and I'm going to try to get it out on Tuesdays. I've been somewhat lax. I've gotten out of practice. Thank you, by the way, to all my mods for throwing up throwing out links and throwing up some stuff. I do appreciate it. For all of you keeping an eye on chat while we're doing this thing. We're getting back into we're gonna try to get back into the groove. Fireside Lore will come just when it's not so stinking hot.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, and also when we don't have that much rain. I think we're going to be getting some more rain in our future because we had a Category 4 hurricane touchdown in Louisiana, and it's projected to be heading our way. By the time it reaches us, it'll probably be just a lot of rain. So yeah. Well, now see, here's the thing, Noob. For Steve to get in on a Fireside Lore, he's got to be here. He's got to be by the fireside, and
Although I had thought about doing some like story time streams, maybe not necessarily Destiny Fireside, because I don't want to take Teeth Thunder with Fireside lore. I was like, no, I'm cool with reading other stuff too. So,
but that's and that's the thing. We're trying to get Steve down here for a visit, and I'm pretty sure that when Steve gets down here for the visit, that's when we're going to have our live, not only our next live Fireside lore noob, but we're also going to have, hopefully, knock wood, our first in studio get together. I would really like to make that happen. I would love to make that happen. And if you want to make that trip, Nix, I will let you know. I will let you know if we're going to make that happen. So anyway, I think I covered everything in that exit. Man, it's been a long time since I'm amazed that I remembered the 3.0 license thing.
I thought you were gonna punt that to Brandon, and we were gonna have dead air for a good minute and a half. Really,
I promise I will give Brandon a heads up if I do that. I will definitely give Brandon a heads up when I do that.
I definitely did. Give Steve a heads up on the lore. That was so.
That was well done. That was well done. All right, so
you want the theory on the Hive Ghost, or you want to talk about that off stream?
We can talk. You know what? We can talk about that now. It's just a quick little bonus content for folks being around here. So for those of you hanging out, this is the post show. What about the Hive Ghost? What did you have for us there, Nick?
I'm sure if I get it wrong, Marv will let me know. Let's just put it. I'm kidding. Yeah. So the Joker at the heart of all this stuff, potentially the reason that there are Lucent Brood, the Hive Guardians, is Brandon's favorite bad guy.
Say Zol.
No.
Don't say Nokris.
Oh no!
Yeah, so Nokris basically got kicked out of the family because he made a pact with Zol, which gave him necromancy. And the whole thing about the Hive is that the Hive are like that. You can't do that. Like the Hive are very Darwinian. Like all of Sword logic is the strong survive, right? And everybody else gets wiped out. And when it gets to the end times in the Hive Sword logic, it is the final shape when only the mightiest are left. Like that, guess what? That's the title for the last year of the Light Dark Saga, is pulled directly from freaking Hive Sword logic. But so Nokris gets necromancy, which flies right in the face of everything else. Oryx basically wipes out every mention of him that he possibly can, and and so in order to get free of Zol, because remember the worm gods feed on death, right?
Right.
But couldn't. So Nokris couldn't possibly, bring that much death. So the Guardians, he just watched the Guardians kill Zol, right?
Right.
And so he goes, okay, so how do I make myself an ascended plane? So I need to basically murder everything possible. So instead, he tricks us into doing it. So everything that we slaughter gives him just this pinprick of an ability to open an ascended plane, which of course is Savathun's in. That's how she sneaks. So she makes a pact with him, and now he's the necromancer. He's the bring him back from the dead thing. The throwaway line, and Marv mentioned it, and you have to at this point, is on the little terminal when you go to start like one of the first missions this season. Crow admits that like Osiris came to him and said, "I need a handful of dead ghosts from Spider's collection."
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
So
No.
Yeah, so those potentially are the ghosts that, through Nokris's necromancy, Savathun launches the whole Lucent Brood, and that would be one more just I hate you, Brandon. From Nokris.
This guy will not let up.
No.
That's
All right.
Weird. So that's weird thinking that Nokris is the Hive fanatic, basically.
Yeah. Right. It's the other crazy thing that I was reading, which was so good, which is like Oryx created his own throne room, and so did Savathun, and Zivo Arath basically said, you know what? I don't need one. Wherever there's war, that's my throne.
Wow.
Like, she's terrifying.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some fun with Witch Queen. We're gonna have some fun. All right,
Yeah.
everybody. So I found
That's
I found somebody we're gonna raid. It was the person who originally hosted me, but they're going live, and they're going with a game that that is near and dear to our hearts, Brandon and myself. Bellafix. She is a representative of No Kid Hungry at nokidhungry.org. I'm one of their stream ambassadors. They recently ran an article on me about how I got involved with No Kid Hungry and what I've been doing for No Kid Hungry, and they're really good people. And she is playing the brand new Phasmophobia. And so we're gonna go on ahead and if you haven't seen the improvements to Phasmo, you're gonna want to, because man, they have done a whole bunch of nice little things to this game to make it even better. And Brandon was killed, I was killed. It was good times all around on Thursday night. You can catch that on the double play. Steve will be joining me again on Thursday night for Blind Leads the Blind, and then it's me and Brandon and the rest of the Phil Rossi Scream team for Phasmophobia. That's happening Thursday nights starting at 7 o'clock. Thanks, everybody, for being here. If you want to find out more about what I'm up to, you can always check the socials. You can also do that with Happy Hour as well. You can also go on ahead and join the Discord and get into the conversation there. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate you all. Right now, we're going to send the love over to Bellafix. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We really, really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. I will see you all Monday. Not sure what I'm playing right now, but we'll see. All right. Peace.